Why was this ad making me feel anxious? Why did it bother me so much? I see dozens like it every day. It made no sense. I even make some of them. Well, maybe not like this one, but it was just a bad perfume ad, and for whatever reason it made me have an anxiety attack. In retrospect, I know that the ad was just a catalyst. It could have been anything. The thing was, my flight had been cancelled, and I finally had time to self-reflect, and I realized my life is utterly meaningless. I had been traveling for 6 months, going from one film festival to the other, presenting my debut feature film, staying in Airbnbs which all must have been designed by the same creative genius. I grow tired of watching my own film and doing Q&As. This was supposed to be a peak of my life, but I just can't feel it. Instead of trying to figure out why, I keep myself busy with more work, more traveling, shooting commercials, building a bubble of arbitrary problem solving and short-term reward, avoiding reality completely. And to make things more difficult, I decide to move to Los Angeles without knowing anyone and hating to drive, just as the city is burning both metaphorically and literally. I immediately get into a car accident, so I walk around feeling lonely in this city built on individualistic ideals. It's hard to connect with people here, so when I first see a familiar face, which happened to be Jeff Goldblum, I want him to comfort me. I call my ex-girlfriend, crying, before she blocks my number. I needed a timeout. I stopped working completely and went off the grid. But I needed a guide. I couldn't do this on my own. For weeks, all I did was walking around listening to the Sam Harris podcast.
Welcome to the Waking Up Podcast.
Most people are walking around with a sense that they have a self inside their heads, that there's a subject in the head, a thinker of thoughts, an experiencer of experience. There is what you call an existence bias that we all have, which is we assume that existence is a good thing, that the self, as most people conceive of it, is an illusion.
I needed to grasp onto some sort of belief system, even a fake one, and started navigating the rather eccentric and even dangerous spiritual options of Los Angeles.
You're not from Los Angeles.
No.
I can't take photos inside, I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't film this?
No.
Alright.
Maybe the spiritual search was hurting me more than helping me. Maybe ignoring the reality that life really doesn't have a greater meaning will produce more happiness. Maybe I should focus on scaling my career and avoid thinking too much about why. But then, I came across videos of this Taiwanese bodybuilder, meditator, and freethinker named Frank Yang. He was sort of a visual enigma, speaking about consciousness, philosophy, and the human condition. I watched around 100 of his videos, and I immediately had the sense that this guy knows something. He can save me. So I reached out to him, begged him to come to Los Angeles, and paid him an ungodly amount of my commercial earnings to stay at my house for 3 weeks. So there he was, only days later, appearing in front of me like an otherworldly creature. The very first thing he tells me is, "Don't worry, I'm here now." We sit down to talk, and I wanted to document the experience as it was happening. Frank didn't mind the cameras, but because of my unfocused and troubled mind, I couldn't even get the shots working. I was in desperate need of a mind fix.
Wait, you gotta do it again, dude. You're looking at your phone.
Oh, we don't need that.
Okay. So I'm gonna teach you how to extract your Kundalini energy.
Okay.
And
This is like locked in my spine?
it's locked in your spine, yeah. But you have to release it one by one. There are 7 chakras in your body. The bottom chakra sits at the bottom of your spine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sort of the lowest form of energy. It has to do with biological activities. The crown chakra is the last one, which is sort of like over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the energy gets converted to consciousness, and you sort of mentally come. So
Yeah.
it's like an orgasm.
Okay.
It literally feels like an orgasm.
Yeah.
And then you release the energy. Up. Release it!
They're dead. I can't move them.
You can move your arms, yeah? Can you move your arms?
Yeah.
Can you move your mind? Just get comfortable with this situation. So how do I do it?
The process was so intense I lost control of my legs for days. Frank said it was all part of destroying the ego and that I shouldn't resist it. He wanted me to really humiliate myself, to overcome useless old instincts. This was only the beginning and I trusted him blindly.
And I want you to close your eyes and observe your thoughts. For your entire life, you've been constructing a person called Chris. But if you inquire deeply and more closely at the nature of thought, you come to the realization that the self is an illusion and that there is no thinker creating thoughts. The thought of Chris, the thought of the ego, the thought of the artist, the writer, a dog, a happy memory, or a terrible one, or a sunset. These are all just thoughts, arising spontaneously through an emptiness and returning to the same source without anybody's control. Once you understand this truth, there will be a shift in your consciousness where you feel like you're going insane or you're dying. But once you let go of the filter of these identities, you can experience the world more directly, as if you're encountering everything for the very first time. Hey Chris, have you seen any art? Have you ever had an aesthetic overload?
Those are high conscious people, you know?
Yeah.
And only when you get to a certain level of consciousness can you actually have the visceral reaction.
Yeah, I've never felt art so, like, touch my feelings before.
Yeah, see, like, most people, when they go to the art museum, they're kind of like zombies.
Yeah.
And they're not receiving their full effect.
Yeah. This is extremely sensory. I never got this much sensory sort of overload from just watching art.
Aesthetic overload. Because your mind is becoming more aesthetic.
I think it's just like my receptors are really tuning in. I mean, I liked it. It's so powerful. It's so strong. Everything is art. Wow. Thanks, Frank.
All my senses had been turned up to 11 and even the slightest of sensations had massive effects on me, even days later. Obviously, we had to readjust, so Frank found us an expensive restaurant in Malibu and made me buy 5 courses. He wanted to shock my system but guide me through it. If you meditate, food can be a life-changing experience.
If you like marble and flavor, don't get a fillet, you get a ribeye. More marble equals more flavor, which is going to be a ribeye.
Just eating rice, just eating like oatmeal with no milk. I'm just like, sorry, right?
Frank, this is Kristoffer.
Hey. I was getting worried about stronger sensory experiences like sex or love, so Frank wanted to guide me through that too. Not only is he an expert on consciousness and meditation, but he's also a pickup artist. But for whatever reason, it wasn't really working that night, and we decided to get back to meditation.
Chris, go deeper.
We had longer sessions. Hours turned to days. I was able to dive to even deeper states of the mind, and it triggered these strange phenomena. This was the moment. I felt my ego dying, non-duality. I was Frank, Frank was me, we're all nature. I had reached enlightenment. And Frank took me to his final test. I didn't see Frank after that. When I opened my eyes, he was mysteriously gone, like out of thin air. Now, I think freely, I move freely, I have full control of my consciousness, senses, ideas, and creativity. I don't try to arrange anything according to my subjectivity or identity. I let every idea flow through me, and thus, whatever I create in the future will be an ideal form, an unbiased creation of pure aesthetics. I am so free that I can leave my own body at any time. I don't have to feel desire, anger, or pain unless I really want to. The extreme powers of enlightenment are available to anyone who dares seek it, and I want to help you. That's why I made this film. Please reach out if you're in need. I am here for you.